Yeah. Well, ciao, Stephanie. Yeah, this YouTube channel is part of a PODTUBE, which is a YouTube and podcast experience, two things in one. I'll put the link to the podcast down below. The podcast is where I interview folks that are learning the language, or folks who grew up with the language, I should say, and because I interview both folks, more one than the other for a number of reasons, mostly my linguistic limitations. In the YouTube videos, I talk about my experiences in trying to learn, I'm back to saying trying to learn Mandarin Chinese, because I am on a serious, unexpected block. It's not a hiatus, it's not a conscious choice. It is a flub of my brain that I can't get back on track. I was seriously motivated last year, mostly by external things, where I had HSK tests as my external, how should I put this, motivator to study and get through the content so I could get to the test and kick ass. And I kicked ass on the first two tests, and I passed but did not kick ass on the third test. And I've decided not to take the fourth test until at least December of next year, 2020. And so the slacking begins. So this video is not meant to be another I haven't done shit video. It's meant to be a I need to really sit down and refine my goals video, because there's two things. One is I'm about to hit an embassy, and generally speaking you can't photograph those, so I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, we're good. So two things. One being that I need to redefine my goals, and two being that I need to redefine my goals. I forget the second one. That's how much the first one is important right now. My main goal at the beginning was to read. However, as time went on, I learned that, I love that little cafe, I learned that, at least it was a cafe last time I was here. I don't know, I think it might be being renovated again. Things change so quickly in Shanghai. Here's the point. I initially wanted to read newspapers, and then I found out that newspapers are written in a much more formal register than I would ever want to be fluent in. Okay, so no newspapers. So then maybe social media. But we all know how slangy and casual and different the structures, meaning grammar, and the language are in social media. It's a very, very fluid, changing, linguistically playful language. In every language, Mandarin Chinese is, from what I've heard, not any different than that. Proof that Shanghai is constantly under construction. So what do I do? What do I do? So not social media. So websites. I don't know if you guys have heard a lot of the interviews that I do with folks about China, but the websites are a mess and they're a headache to read, and it's super specialized information depending on what website you're looking at. So we're still pondering, what should I read? What should I read? Part of why I've been able to ignore this shift in goals is that last year I was really busy reading all of my HSK materials because I needed vocabulary in order to get to anything interesting. I'm still building vocabulary. I don't want to pretend like I've got all the vocabulary I need to read anything that I want to read right now, but I feel like in order to keep going, I feel like one of the things that's missing is that end goal. The end goal has shifted so much in the year of learning about the language from the inside instead of the first year when I was learning about the language from the outside, that I don't know where to go with this. What do I read? What can I read that is interesting and not too formal, not too informal, and somewhere in between? Oh my god, it's a Goldilocks situation. What is my Goldilocks reading materials? Now, as I'm saying this to you, as normally happens, I got a flash that maybe it's fiction. Maybe it's reading novels. Now that's probably way far off like my first two thoughts. So I don't know. What do you guys think? What have you read in Chinese that's in that middle ground where it's not too casual and forever changing like social media, and it's not too formal like the newspapers? What is that in between that I can read? Is it newspapers? Should I just start text messaging everybody I know in Chinese, and whoever replies back becomes my writing buddy? And even then, they're probably going to grade their language down to where they think I are. So would that help? Would that help at all? Would that improve my vocabulary at all? I don't know. I truly don't know. People on the bus go round and round. I'm actually gonna take the bus soon. Oh no, that's my bus. Right there, that's passing me by. I don't think I can run that fast. Can I run that fast? There's 2 of them in a row. I'm gonna pause. I got on the bus. I'm so excited. This means I'm gonna be home soon. Oh yeah. All right, it's been a very long, beautiful day, but I'm gonna be home soon and that makes me very happy. Okay, so what do I read? I really feel like more than what chapters to study when, what vocabulary to study when, I feel like this is the thing, this is the carrot that I've been ignoring. So I have to work on this. And I'm pretty sure you can't hear me now, so I'm gonna stop this now and just take your comments down below. What can I read that's not too hard and not too simple and not just graded readers, because a lot of those stories are not interesting to me. I'm so sorry, but they're not. So authentic material that will take me forever to get to and that isn't too formal and isn't too casual. What is that?